Oh, what is up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Having a little laugh to myself here before this music gets going again. Let's take it down to the chill stuff. Oh, man. What's up, everybody? How's it going? Jake's in a good mood today. We're talking a little bit about some horror news we got. Lots to talk about, some fun stuff. Dylan cannot make it. Dylan, I appreciate you for being there last night. It was a banger stream, one for the records. Had an absolute blast last night talking Final Girls with y'all. That was awesome. Loved it. James Miller is here. What's up, James? How's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. I can't wait for the Conjuring 4, The Last Rites. I'm hyped for it. We're going to be talking about it today. Got a lot of updates. If it's The Exorcist, The Conjuring, whatever. Is this stream titled what I think it's titled? Because now I'm starting to get worried. I'm like, oh shit, wait. Did I not title this the right thing? Oh man, I might not have. No, I did. It's fine. Okay. I wanted to make sure I changed everything up. Make sure I got it all good. Heed shot saying Zup, my dude. Or as they say in the scary movie universe, what's up? What's up? What's up? If it'll load, geez, come on. StreamYard's being all whack today. What's going on with that? Welcome, sir. James is here too, saying, I'm surprised that they are making another Saw movie. I already said hello to you, James, you trickster. You little trickster. No, I'm just kidding. Hyped to talk about Saw, because I feel like maybe the only person who's actually excited for the new Saw movie, but I have good reason. I can defend my points. You'll see. You'll see. Celestia is saying, what's your favorite scary movie? I've decided recently The Fly is my all-time favorite horror movie from Mr. David Cronenberg. I think that's my all-time favorite. Love it. Ghost Mysteries is saying, hello, welcome. Welcome, Gunner. What's up? Godzilla is in the chat, y'all. Listen, if you can stop destroying cities, that would be pretty damn cool. But Godzilla, welcome to the chat. Black Phone 2 is in the works. This was announced yesterday as well. Shit, we got a lot to talk about. Black Phone 2 has been announced for a little while, but I believe production just started on it, is what got announced yesterday. If I'm remembering correctly. My chunky Jordy is here. What is up? How's it going, Jordy? Welcome to the stream. Hello. Adam's here. Yo, Rick D. Hello. It's been a long time, Rick D. That's okay. I'm just glad you're back. Welcome to the stream. Come hang out. We're going to talk a little Scream 6, a little Scream 7, little bit of everything. Holy shit. The Exorcist. We got some Exorcist updates, some Saw X updates, some Fede Alvarez Alien updates. Lots of good stuff. To look forward to. Garth is here. What's up, Garth Mall? I love that. Surprised Scary Movie hasn't been rebooted. Honestly, yeah. Like, what's up with that? No Scary Movie. Come on. It's almost been the right amount of time after a couple of Scream movies came out. You would think we would get more of them. So, for sure, man. I'm all about it. The Supreme Coven is here saying hello. Welcome to the stream, Supreme. Welcome to the Supreme stream. Yes, I Play Demos is here. Hello, welcome, my friend. What's going on? How's it going? Welcome. How would you rate the Insidious 5 trailer? I liked it. I wasn't blown away. I was kind of expecting more, I'm not gonna lie. But maybe that's a good thing, Adam, because we have yet to see maybe some of the craziest parts of the movie. At least I'm hoping. It's a double-edged sword with trailers, truly. Sometimes you're like, yeah, this was awesome. But then you watch it a couple more times, and you're like, okay, this trailer showed way too much. But then you see another one, and you're like, this was just not enough. I don't know what to expect from this movie. That's kind of how I feel about Insidious 5. So, can I be satisfied with the trailer? I guess not, is the real answer to this question. Squidward Tennis Balls is here. Yo, what's going on? You and all your tentacles. What's up? Heatshot is saying, do you agree that Wrong Turn 4 is underrated or like the whole franchise? I think 4 is underrated. I don't know about the whole franchise. 4 and the remake are very underrated in my opinion. Both killer movies that not enough people talk about. But anyways, 5 minutes into the stream, let's talk about some of the news. Let's get right on into the news, as they say. Scream 6. This is why a lot of you are here. Let's just get right into that. So, I have yet to get the digital copy of it. I'm going to wait until the physical release, of course. I'm hyped for the physical release of Scream 6, Scream 7, could you imagine? Coming out on July 11th, the 4K Steelbook looks pretty damn sick, but there's also going to be a Blu-ray 4K, just regular, not Steelbook, and also a DVD. Go get it on July 11th, it's gonna be awesome. So I'll be checking out all the behind-the-scenes stuff then. But we did get a little feature released today talking a bit about the setting for being in New York this time around, changing it up from small town USA, essentially, of Woodsboro, California. Now we're in New York City. The directors talked a little bit about this, and I want to bring this up. I didn't want to make a whole video about this, but I meant to bring this up because I thought it would be important. I think it's a really interesting criticism of this new film that a lot of people are saying that they don't love the New York setting. It wasn't utilized to its full ability. But then I read this article today, and I think they made a great point. If we would have had our main characters, who have been there presumably for at least a couple of months, I don't think they're in that tourist phase anymore where they're like, we got to go to the Statue of Liberty, we got to go to the Empire State Building, we got to go to Times Square. They're not in that phase anymore. And I saw a lot of people under specifically my spoiler review for Scream 6 were saying like, I liked it, but I feel like they didn't utilize New York to its full advantage. And I think there's a big difference between like Jason Takes Manhattan and this movie. This one's played a little more straight, where Jason Takes Manhattan's a little goofier. Like, original plans for Jason Takes Manhattan were like, we want to throw Jason right in the middle of Times Square and like climbing up the Statue of Liberty, maybe performing in the middle of Radio City Music Hall, maybe cut somebody up while they're performing on the stage or something. I'm paraphrasing the quote, but basically, they wanted to make that like a goofy romp of New York City, essentially. This was not quite that, and I feel like it might have stepped into that territory if that was the case. What was the exact quote? I'm paraphrasing here, but I believe it was Matt Bettinelli Open that said they didn't want to make the film about like tourists going to the Empire State Building or Statue of Liberty. It's more about the people living their lives in in New York City, this gigantic city. And I concur with that. I think they captured that really well. That was really important to the story to not be in that phase with these characters who have been there for a couple of months. And I'm okay with that. I'm hyped to see what else is on the behind the scenes of the Scream 6, like Blu-ray, 4K, whatever. Because I've also heard that they've cut Sidney Prescott out of a lot of the like footage that they recycled from Scream 5, putting into the behind the scenes stuff, which is like a little weird, but also probably covering up their asses to make sure that they don't get sued by Neve Campbell or something. I don't know. Like, you know, you got to wonder what the point of that was. But it does make me a little sad, cutting out our final girl like that. God! Another thing with Scream, and then I promise I'll get on to some actual news, is Utopia Bagels is putting out blood red bagels and Scream cheese. I mean, that sounds pretty awesome. If you have one of those nearby, go on and get it. I mean, look how delicious this looks. Jesus Christ, I just want a breakfast sandwich so bad right now. And it comes with a free knife. That's not true. That's not true at all. But I also want to throw that question to you guys. Do you feel like they utilized New York to the best of their ability in Scream 6? Throw it in the chat, throw it in the comments of this video if you're watching this on a replay. I just want to hear what everyone has to say. I pretty much agree with what I've read them, what I've seen in the videos and what I've read that they have said about the film regarding the setting. And I wouldn't have wanted it to be like Tara taking pictures of herself in front of the Statue of Liberty. You know, it would have been kind of weird. And then have Ghostface chase them. That would be sick, but still. The bagel looks nice. I agree, Lily. I want some bagels. I want some Scream cheese, as they say. Ghost Mysteries is saying, as I last heard, Scream 7 was being written. I'm not sure if they already have the script complete or not. Yeah, good old viewer Anon, a lovable source around here, I believe has said that about the film. As we know, Radio Silence, I don't believe is going to be on the next project. As of right now, it's kind of up in the air, but if I had to guess, it's probably not going to happen, which makes old Jake pretty sad. I really like what they brought to the table in both of their Scream films, but I'm also excited for fresh blood to jump on the project, see what else they can see. Who else has a good Scream movie idea? I'm excited for it. Did I get a new camera? No, I just actually have good lights now. So now that we're kind of done, we were shooting a short film, and I had lights for Red Right Hand, which is what you're seeing now, and it's just way better lighting. And I lit up this back area too because I thought that would look cool, and it looks kind of cool. I like it. So I think I got a better lighting setup, which is why it looks better, and I don't look like just completely washed out white light. Did the lighting a little better around here, so hopefully. Will we get 13 Scream movies like how Halloween is? I'd be okay with that personally. I love this franchise. We could make 100 of these movies and I won't be complaining. Liam is saying, hi there. Have you seen X or Pearl yet? Yes, I did reviews on both of those, Liam. Last year, I did some. I'm pretty proud of those reviews. The Pearl one is really funny, I think. I loved Pearl. It was fucking hilarious. I bought it recently because I needed to rewatch it. I'd only seen it once in the theaters, and man, that was a blast on rewatch. I'm now of the opinion that I think I like Pearl more than X. I wasn't sold on it for a little while, but I think I definitely like Pearl a little more. So. I'm hyped. What else do we got here? RJ is saying, I think they used New York City to the absolute best to their advantage. Yeah, I agree. You know, it wasn't like taking over the plot or anything like that, but you know, we went down to the subways. That was really cool. It didn't feel like, hey, we're at New York City. Don't forget. You know what I mean? Like, don't forget we're in New York. Let's do this whole thing revolving around the New York set. That would have gotten annoying. You know, that would have gotten like in your face annoying, I think. And I like what they did. How they incorporated it into the story in a way that didn't feel like, hey, this is a movie you're watching and we have to remind the audience that you're in New York City. I thought it was nice. I had a fun time with it. RJ is also saying Scream 7 in the tropics, kind of like I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. I would love that. I've seen a lot of we have Gelato here saying, can we please have a snowy, wintry setting for Scream 7? That would also be great. Oh man, I'm down for like either of those are awesome in my opinion. I think the snow one has been a long time coming, though, is what I will say. I think a lot of people really want to see Scream in the snow, but Scream in the tropics would be so cool, too. I mean, it would be gorgeous. It would be a gorgeous film. You know, any movie that's set in a tropical paradise kind of area like that is definitely gets a few points from old Jake. I love that setting. I really do. Malik is saying Ghostface throwing someone off the Empire State Building would have been his greatest throw yet. I mean, I can't argue with that. You know, I can't argue with that. But there are more movies to come, more buildings for people to get tossed off of, my friend. And hey, you know, Ghostface did technically throw someone off of a building in this movie. Technically. It was on a ladder that was connected between two buildings. But still, it's pretty damn close, Malik. We got something to that degree. Sort of. Sort of. I love you, Michael. All the love, man. Thanks for being a KillJoy cult member. I appreciate you. All the love. Thanks for being here. Thank you so much. We have more updates to get to, though. I love all this. What do you think is better, Insidious or The Conjuring? Adam, I am more of an Insidious guy myself, but today we have a Conjuring 4 update. The new title for Conjuring 4 is going to be The Conjuring Last Rites, which is like, cool. Okay. You know, it's better than The Devil Made Me Do It. I gotta be honest. I like it more than that. But, it's still just cheesy subtitle. You know, I'm just like, man, we're bringing cheesy subtitles back. I'm not against it. You know, I'm not against it, but it's a little goofy. It's a little cheesy. I don't know how hyped I am for another Conjuring film after the third one. I wasn't huge on the third one. I want to like it, though. I really, you know, what's weird is that was the first one where it was just a big turnoff to the Conjuring franchise. I remember a lot of people did not like Annabelle Comes Home, and in all fairness, it's not a perfect movie, you know, it's not, but I had a fun time with it because the characters were very fun, and I thought really the thing I didn't love about it is the jump scares. The jump scares are terrible in that film, but it's so goofy, it's very fun. I think it knows what it is. It realizes it's Annabelle 3, and it's kind of making fun of itself like the whole time through, and I had a fun time with it. I enjoyed that film, and it was like, okay, you know, this is getting stale, but at least they realize that, and they're having fun with it. Conjuring 3, not so much. Conjuring 3 didn't feel like that to me. It felt more like we're trying really hard to revitalize this franchise, and they didn't do it in a successful way, in my opinion. So I'm still going into the next one with an open mind, but I'm concerned. I am concerned to see what happens next. Speaking of cheesy subtitles, though, my friends, The Exorcist is coming out in October from Mr. David Gordon Green, the Halloween guy himself, pretty much. And the film is going to be titled The Exorcist Believer. Believer. I don't know. I got once again just cheesy subtitles, man. I'm not against it. Just odd. It's just an odd choice. And especially with this being the first in a trilogy. Why are we already subtitling this? You know, I get that it's the sequel. Technically, it's a legacy sequel to the original. But like, as much as we all want to complain about Halloween 2018 being called Halloween 2018, it's better than Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. In my opinion, in my honest opinion. I know. Hot take, my friends. Rick, you loved Conjuring 3. All the love, man. I respect it. I just wasn't a big fan of it. I was not huge on it. The whole procedural murder mystery thing aspect to it, I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of. But it had some good moments. I thought the very beginning of Conjuring 3 was the strongest part. That was awesome. The opening scene really had me. But yes, with getting back on track here, The Exorcist, we not only have a title release, though, we also have a first look at some of the description of some of the first footage from the film specifically. The trailer premiered over at CinemaCon recently, and we got a little bit of a description from that from THR, which I will read to you now, which is not going to be that boring, I promise. Trust me, this is going to be cool. THR recaps, The Exorcist believer kicks off after the devil takes over the bodies of 2 children in the film. So not one kid, but two Reagans this time around. In the trailer, a father drops off his daughter at school. However, she and a friend go missing afterwards. When they're found in the woods, they seem changed, unaware that they were gone for 3 days, believing it's been just a few hours. So like, okay, that's kind of scary. That's interesting. All right. You got me there. That's cool. They get possessed. They're in the woods or something, and maybe that's when they get possessed, and they're like, oh shit, we were gone. Who knows? At another point in the trailer, one of the girls, covered in communion wine, I kind of wish it was blood, walks into a church mass screaming at the priest, the body and the blood. Finally, the parents call upon Chris McNeil, Ellen Burstyn's character from the original film. God bless her heart. My God, she's up there, and she's coming back for horror movies. I love it. She attempts to help the girls, one of whom has been carving her daughter's name on her stomach. Holy shit. So, I'll be honest, I read that description earlier, and I was like, some of this is really cool. Some of this feels like generic exorcism movie, though. You know, the communion wine and all that, I'm like, I feel like I've seen that before. But I'm hyped for this idea that they're going to be lost in the woods and maybe get possessed by Pazuzu out there for some reason. What I love about the original The Exorcist so much is that it's something that happens on like the other side of the world that then goes and affects Reagan like later on. Like that's so fucking crazy and scary. It's like something that's totally out of your hands. I don't know. It's such an interesting element to that film. And I don't know. It's one of those movies where I still have the opinion that I don't necessarily think that The Exorcist needs a continuation. Me personally, I'm good with what we got. I love The Exorcist. I love The Exorcist 3. That's all we need. You know, I'm like, hey man, I'm hyped. I'm good with that. But I'm down for more. I'm down to see what David Gordon Green has brought to the table, and hopefully it kicks ass. I am rooting for this film, even if I actively am not on the side of, I'm not on its side. I don't think it's going to be good, but hey, you got to go into things with open minds because sometimes you get surprised, and I'm hoping I get surprised here. I really do. I want it to be good. I'm rooting for you, David. DGG. All the love, man. I hope it's good. I hope you killed it on this one. Cast is phenomenal too, so who knows? You never know. What else do we got? Y'all are talking about Idle Hands. I love it. If you haven't seen Idle Hands, you need to. I think I saw that movie like a while ago. I want to say I saw that movie like 2 years ago and I didn't finish it. There's something about that movie that I don't know. I want to give it another chance though. I remember not being into it the first time I watched it, but I'm going to watch it again. I hate screamers. You're not going to like me. I scream, my friend. Oh, I scream when I get too scared. It's terrifying. Scream 7 has been, I believe it's been confirmed pretty much at this point. I know that a lot of third-party sources were talking about it. No, there hasn't been an official announcement, and there hasn't been, like, no directors are on board. No, there's no script yet or anything like that. They'll probably make the official announcement relatively soon with who's going to be who's actually going to be who's going to be the director. Do you think The Exorcist will overshadow Five Nights at Freddy's? FNAF is more hyped, but The Exorcist name holds a lot of weight. That's a really good question. We have both of these coming out relatively around the same time. Honestly, the thing that I'm oddly more concerned about, which I don't mean to not answer your question, Malik, but the thing I'm more concerned about is that will it overpower Saw X? Because they're coming out the same day. I really don't know which one's going to get more hype. If it's Five Nights at Freddy's, Saw X, I don't know. Speaking of which, this is an official promotional artwork, or whatever the fuck, from Saw X, which also got announced at CinemaCon. So here's our first official look at it. Which, like, once again, I'm not going to make a whole video about that. It's a picture, you know? Hey, there you go. Okay, you get to see it. There, okay, you know? I'm not going to make a whole video about that. But what I will say about it, that I'm hyped for, it's got the old school Saw-looking logo to it. Kevin Grutert is attached to this project as well. He directed Saw 6 and Saw the final chapter. Hear me out. The guy edited 1 through 5 though. He's been a part of the franchise from like 1 through the 7th movie, and now he's directing this new one. Listen, if anyone's going to direct a new Saw film and it's not going to be James Wan, Kevin Grutert's my next choice, honestly. I'm hyped to see what he brings to the table. And hopefully it's a little closer to Saw 6 than Saw 7, in all fairness. I like Saw 7. I don't think it's that bad, but I'm still hyped for it. I like Saw 7. I think it's fine. It's not my favorite by any means. I think the traps are kind of dumb, but the story's kind of cool. I don't know. I like it. I had a fun time with it. It's not the worst one. It's not the best one, but it's not the worst one. I'm excited to see what Kevin brings to the table, though, with this new movie. Saw X coming out same day as Five Nights at Freddy's, right before Halloween on October 27th, if I believe I'm getting that correct. And we're pretty much almost through the news at this point, everybody. 22 minutes of fun news. We also have Fede Alvarez. Final little update, and then we'll get to talking about whatever the fuck. We can talk about whatever. It's going to be a lot of fun. Fede Alvarez has shared kind of the first still from his new Alien movie that he's writing with Rodo Sayegas, who, if you don't know those names and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about, Jake? These are the guys that did Evil Dead 2013, Don't Breathe, the sequel to Don't Breathe, and also produced Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. But some people don't like that movie, so I don't usually like to bring that up when hyping these guys up. But they did Evil Dead 2013 and Don't Breathe. Come on. Killer movies. I think Alien's not going to be any different. It's going to be also pretty fucking awesome. But anyways, I don't really have too much to say about this picture. They released it for Happy Alien Day. It was Alien Day the other day, and this is pretty fucking sweet. I love the set. I love what it looks like. Looks like we're back on a ship. Cool. Hell yeah. I'm hyped for this movie. I can't wait. But anyways, how are you guys feeling? How is everybody feeling in the horror space right now? We got a lot of news. We got a lot of different things going on. If it's Scream 7 you're excited for, if it's this new Alien movie, if it's Saw X, Five Nights at Freddy's, a lot of things to get hyped about right now. We are in a bit of we're about to go through a little lull before July, when maybe like late June, when horror movies start to pick up a bit. So old Jake probably won't be as active on this page for a little while, but like I said, lots to get hyped about for the back half of the year, for sure. But anyways, will the Exorcist reboot be day and date? So I know Five Nights at Freddy's is going to Peacock same day. I don't know about this though. Oh, excuse me. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on. I'm dying here. Yeah. So I know the Exorcist is going to be out in the middle of October. I want to say like October 13th or 14th. When is that coming out? October 13th. Yeah, it's coming out October 13th. As of right now, it is only being released theatrically. We don't know if it's going to Peacock or not. It will probably go to Peacock the same day, would be my guess, just like how Five Nights at Freddy's is. Or maybe not, because that's coming out on Peacock just 2 weeks later. Not 100%. We'll have to find out. Jump scares too good. Love me a good jump scare. Hell yeah, man. I like jump scares. I think they're fun. As long as they're set up properly. You know, when they're not set up properly, that means it sucks. You know, it's not an easy thing to execute right, is what I will say. Jacob Anderson is saying, don't forget Insidious Chapter 5. Dude, I'm hyped for it, Jacob, but it doesn't come out until early July. So we kind of have this little lull in May. Not a whole lot's happening in May for horror movies, but end of June, we get Raka Raka's new film, which should be exciting. A new A24 movie. I'm really hyped for that. Getting a lot of buzz from South by Southwest, so it's gonna be good. Tori's here. What's up, Tori? How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. The only thing I care about is Five Nights at Freddy's. Hey, listen, it's gonna be good. I'm glad you're hyped for it. Five Nights at Freddy's is gonna be fun. We know that Mr. Stu Macher is going to be our lead human antagonist in that film, which I'm hyped for. Lot of good, really good cast overall. Josh is PETA from the Hunger Games. Josh Hutcherson? Hutch. I'm just gonna call him Hutch. I don't know what his name is. PETA from the Hunger Games is going to be in it. I like him. I like the Hunger Games movies. They're fine. I had a fun time with them. Ghost Mysteries is saying, I can't believe we are already almost in May. This month is going so fast. I know. These past 2 months have been a blast for movies, man. Holy shit. I've had a good time. Ibrahim? I want to get this right. I don't want to mess this up. I'm very serious about my name pronunciation. Saying, hey, Jake, who will direct Conjuring 4? Do you know anything about it? Well, it's pretty much just been announced. We don't know. We don't have a director announced at the moment, but if I have any thoughts on that, I would say please, and I mean this in the nicest way I possibly can, don't get Michael Chaves on the project. Like I said, I think Conjuring 3 is fine. I wasn't really impressed by it. He also did Curse of La Llorona. Once again, wasn't really vibing with it. I've yet to be impressed by that director, and I just think they should get somebody else on the project personally. I don't know who. Maybe like honestly, I don't think he would do this, but like Mike Flanagan, I think would be a really good choice for a Conjuring film. I don't think he would do it. Like I said, he's a pretty well-established director to be making the 4th film in the Conjuring franchise, but at the same time, he did do the sequel to Ouija, so you never know. Maybe they get Mike Flanagan to do it. That would be my choice personally. I would love that. I would love for him to do that. I would also love to direct Conjuring 4. I would love to be directing any big movie. Oh my God, just please. I'll direct I'll direct Conjuring 7 if they get that far. I don't care. That would just be awesome. Mesro Studios, what's going on, my dude? You just missed all the news, but it's okay. You can always watch the replay. And I'll probably be repeating myself at some point. So if you have any questions about news on one thing or the other, I'll hit you up. I'd love to repeat stuff, as that Bo Burnham song goes. Noah Atkinson is saying, are you excited for Dune Part 2? I said that. I actually said something on Twitter about this today. I didn't love the first Dune. I guess it's a remake, but I remember being hyped for it. I'm a huge sci-fi fan. I love sci-fi anything. I will just watch and eat it up. And I watched Dune, and I was like, man, the cinematography, the performances, and just the vibe of this overall is fantastic. I loved that about it. But the story itself, it was really hard to follow. It was nearly impossible to follow because of how just odd, and I don't know, the whole point of the movie is to set up the atmosphere, the vibe of this world, and I appreciate that. I appreciate what they did there, but it needed a little more for me. So I didn't love the first one, but I'm gonna give the second one a chance. I saw a lot of the stills from it. I love the cast. I like the entire cast is amazing. Like I said, great performances all around. The story itself did not do that much for me. So I want to give Dune another chance and see Part 2 because there's so many people like just that rave about it. Absolutely love it. And I don't know, I couldn't get into it, but maybe it's secretly good and I was just watching it wrong. You never know. That happens sometimes. Sometimes you got to watch some twice before you really get it. So Adam is saying best jump scare was in the first Insidious. Yes. I mean, that's probably the scariest jump scare I've ever seen in my entire life, Adam. I filled my pants up with poop when that happened. My God, seeing that for the first time with absolutely nothing, no warning, no idea it's coming. That scared the fuck out of me, man. Because you didn't even know that there was you kind of knew that there was a demon coming, but that's how they reveal him, dude. And you're like, fuck, holy shit, man. Like, we got to see the kid dancing around, doing that creepy little weird dance. But that one was, oh my God, it's awesome. Tori's watching Scream 6 again on Paramount Plus. Nice. Enjoy, Tori. I'm hyped to watch it again at some point soon. Like I said, I'm probably gonna wait for the physical release, but I'm excited for it. Haunt Part 2 being given the green light. Let's go. I heard about that as well. That's exciting. The first Haunt I highly recommend, kind of one that flew under the radar. I believe it was Eli Roth produced, if I'm remembering correctly, and it kicks ass. Just about a haunted house that's really fucked up. And it's a really interesting story. I had a blast with that one as well. It's a more recent film as well. I believe the first one came out in 2019. And don't be confused with Hellfest, which is something completely different, but kind of shares a similar premise. Those two are I would almost say those are in a weird cinematic crazy subgenre where it's these are kind of the same vibe, but very different at the same time. But both good. I probably like Haunt a little more than Hellfest, but both are good movies. I'm excited for part 2. It's going to be fun. Ghost Mysteries is saying they should get James Wan to come back. That's the best bet. James Wan would be I would love that. I would love that. I love what he did with the Conjuring franchise. I believe he only directed 2 of those movies. But I love him. The Conjuring 2, they're killer movies. He should come back. I'm going to be honest. I'm as someone who's probably not going to see Aquaman 2, I would like James Wan to come back to the franchise and do something more horror oriented. I mean, the guy put out Malignant back in 2021, which once again, another movie, if you have not seen it, I highly recommend it. Killer horror flick that came out of nowhere, has this giallo vibe to it. It's a lot of fun. I love when he does horror movies, not so much the other stuff. He did a Fast and Furious movie, Aquaman. I don't know. I was like, whatever. I was there supporting my boy. You know, I was like, got to support James. Lee Winnell makes a little cameo in Aquaman, the first one. Cool. Whatever. I saw it for them, you know? I actually saw it at 1 a.m. on Christmas. Like, the Christmas night. That was a weird day. That was a really weird day. I was remember just, like, falling asleep watching that movie. It was tough. Scream 7 should take place in the winter. I feel it, Derek. We need a fun setting, you know, as much as as I've seen a lot of people say, oh man, it's cringe to have a gimmicky setting. I disagree, man. Like that, it injected this excitement into Scream 6 big time. I want a winter setting. That'd be a lot of fun. You can make it a little more desolate, maybe a little more grim doing a winter setting like that. Why not? Why not change up the tone at this point? We're at entry number 7. Everything, I feel like we've done a lot with this IP. Let's go to some weirder places with it. Let's try some more obscure, crazy experimental shit. Why not at this point? We're at entry number 7. Let's go to a cabin in the woods. Let's go to winter set cabin where Ghostface starts murdering everybody. What? What's going on? Why is there a Ghostface here? Who could it be? I'm hyped. Who will shoot the new part of the Alien? People involved with the new Alien movie, I believe I can't remember her name. Isabella Merced, I believe, is starring in it, who was Dora the Explorer back in that movie. If you guys remember that movie, I kind of forgot about it. Like I still haven't even seen it, but she's a Clevelander too, which is cool. My hometown. I think that's pretty awesome. She's going to be starring in it. Fede Alvarez is directing it, and the script was written by himself and also Rodo Sayegas, who worked on him. They worked together on Evil Dead 2013 as well as the Don't Breathe movies. They also produced Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022, but like I said, I don't like to bring that one up because some people don't like it, but I do. I fuck with it. I fuck with it, as they say. What else do we got, though? Who else is hanging out in the chat with us? Larry is here. What's up, Larry? What's going on? Welcome to the stream. Saying, how scary would you rate Lights Out from 1 to 10? This one was a little scarier than I remembered. I watched it recently. I believe it was on Netflix, and then I bought it, too, because I was like, oh, man, doing a rewatch of that? That was really good. Character work in that one is surprisingly really well done. That's what I forgot about with that movie. I would say it's probably like... it's very jump scare oriented. It loses me a little bit in the third act. I'm going to say like a 7, maybe a 7 out of 10. I think it's got some really well executed jump scares. Maybe that's not fair. Maybe like an 8, 7 or 8, somewhere between that. 7.5. There we go. I'd give it a 7.5. It's got some really good jump scares in it. I remember when I first watched it, though, I was like, the beginning was really scary and fucked up. I loved that, but then like the rest of the movie kind of fell off for me. Watching it again, I think otherwise. I really enjoyed it. Do you think the Evil Dead Rise opening ending... throwing some spoilers out there, Malik. Here's what I'll say without spoiling anything. I feel like I've already heard Lee Cronin talk about making a sequel to Evil Dead Rise, and I feel like we have yet to see that entire story play out, is all I'm going to say. Without spoiling nothing. The movie's still fresh. I give it about a month before I start openly... Well, I guess I talked spoilers on an Evil Dead stream, but you knew what you were getting into clicking on that stream. Here, you're like, oh, Scream 7 news, and then bam, Evil Dead spoiler. I don't want to do that. But what I will say is I feel like we have yet to see the rest of that part of the story. Hopefully. That would be fun. AJ saying, Jake, make Red Right Hand Part 2. I wish I could. I would if I could, my friend. I really would. But that would cost money. that would be a lot of money. And man, the first one was a lot of money. So I would love to make another one. I would love to. What I will say though, for those who don't know, is I am working on an original film, feature length. It's gonna, man, we're back and forth on this, but I believe it's gonna be like a 2-hour epic. So we're currently getting funding for that, working on pre-production, and hopefully we can sell it to somebody. It would be fun. So I'm gonna keep talking about it, and maybe someone will be like, hey, let's check this out. let's see what they're working on, and maybe we can sell something. That would be cool. So busting my little butt on that right now. So I can't wait for you guys to see it. Ooh, Arachnophobia, the one we don't talk about a lot, Manga Maniac. Love it. The scene where the guy is climbing the ladder in the barn and the spider jumps on his face. Dude, that movie's fucking terrifying. Whatever happened to Christopher Landon was going to direct whatever, a remake of that. I would love for that to happen, man. Killer movie. If you have arachnophobia, maybe don't watch it. There's a lot of damn spiders in that one. Oh man, lots of spiders. Oh, kid Jake did not like that one. Let me tell you that. Ugh. But what else do y'all want to talk about? Here we go. Demon Wind and the Mutilator are getting sequels. I remember reading about the Mutilator too. This is hype. This is pretty hype. I'm excited for that. They're making a sequel to a movie that was kind of forgotten for a little while there. And now it's coming back. I'm excited to see what they do with that. Haven't heard much about it recently, but I remember hearing that it was like they were wrapping filming on it or whatever, and it's coming out soon, so I'm excited. Do you think Tiptoe Through the Tulips will play in Insidious 5? I'm really hoping it will, for the nostalgia, and that scene terrified me when I was a kid. Well, they have it in the trailer, so I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say absolutely. Probably do a little callback to that. I hope they do something different with it, though. You know, I hope it's not just the same movie. They're not just trying to come back to Insidious just to do the original movie again. Hopefully they got a new take on it. Fort Misery Gaming is saying Scream 7 should be at a theme park. That would be a lot of fun. Maybe like a abandoned theme park or something. Maybe we could do like a third act setting there. Kind of like, maybe like a Terrifier 2 kind of thing. You know, we're at the circus for the third act of that one. That would be sick. I'd be down. Did Paramount announce anything spicy at CinemaCon today? Not anything Scream related, unfortunately. Makes me sad. Danny and Michael Filippo, though, who directed Talk to Me, like we were talking about earlier, coming out later in June, they just got, they're in talks right now to be working on the next Street Fighter movie. So I'm like, okay, that looks pretty cool. Down for that. We just got a new Mortal Kombat movie a couple years ago, so I'm like, yeah, why not? Why not do another a Street Fighter movie? That could be cool. I've always been a Mortal Kombat guy myself, though, I gotta say. Mr. Nestle Crunch is saying we need Happy Death Day 3, but R-rated. Yes. And, you know, I really do love Happy Death Day to You. I really do. I like the sequel. It's fun. But it's really missing out on some of the key horror elements that the first one knocked out of the park. You know, it's not like the scariest film I've ever seen. Neither of them. But it does still have that horror element to it, which the second one kind of backs off from. I would say if they make a third one, make it the scariest one yet. Go full in with the scares. I love the goofiness of the franchise too. You know, you can't lose that, but make it even crazy, make it even more visceral with the kills. Why not? Is TCM 2022 available on DVD? Not to my knowledge, but I would absolutely buy a copy of that, like without a doubt. That's one of the few Texas Chainsaw Massacre films I would actually want to buy. I'm actually gonna look this up because I'm just gonna look up Blu-ray, because sometimes they do Blu-rays and stuff and not 4Ks. Ooh. Okay. Huh. Yeah, no, I don't believe there is one. You gotta go to Blu-ray.com sometimes. You gotta look it up. No, there's not one. That's really a shame, my friend. I wish there was one though. I would buy it. Like I actually would. I really like that movie. KillJoy Jake's upcoming movie projects from Jason Dyer saying, number one, of course, is an Alligator remake. Oh my God, what I wouldn't do. Number two, Red Right Hand 2, of course. Red Right Hand 3, yeah, and Rat Boy, the spin-off movie about Jamie turning into a rat. Yes, all these are happening. What I will say is you guys might get a little special something soon. That's all I'm gonna say. Something relating to rats. Because of course there's going to be more rat-related content on this page. Of course, come on. So Jason, that's all I'm going to say for now, but I have something in the works, so. Ryan Baxter saying, howdy y'all. Hope everyone's having a great Thursday. I'm having a fantastic Thursday. Doing kind of the last live stream of the month because old Jake's going to be busy until like next Tuesday pretty much. So that's why we're doing a bunch of streams back to back to back. But why not? Raw Dog is saying, who else thought the new Scream was meh? You know, a lot of people did, Raw Dog, is what I'll say. A lot of people were not huge on it. I've seen some complaints. But, like, thus far, my thoughts on it are, all the complaints I'm seeing feel like things that can apply to every other movie in the franchise. Like, people are upset that Chad didn't die. And, like, while I agree it probably would have worked better with the story and all that, they've done this before. You know, Dewey clearly died in Scream 2, and they brought him back. In 3, I mean, he gets pretty fucked up. I mean, not really. Not as much as in 2, but... Dewey has suffered through some shit, man. Dewey's gone through some shit, and they brought him back. And I also really like Chad. I like that they brought him back. I get it. You know, if he was like a whatever character and they brought him back, I'd be like, what the fuck? I kind of feel that way about Josh Segarra's character. Like, why was he still alive by the end of the movie? What was the point of him being in there? And I'm not saying it was perfect either. You know, I wasn't like, wow, that was a perfect, airtight script or anything like that. No, but I think it was pretty damn good considering how convoluted the franchise has gotten at this point. Like, every Scream movie has this obsession with trying to go back to the original. I think that is hurting the franchise, maybe the biggest out of anything. I feel like we should just go off and do our own thing. Go off and do our own things and just make our own stories in this universe, and that would be fine. Not everything has to connect. And there's a lot of that. Maybe the biggest issues I have with Scream 6 all come back to that. It's like, just stand on your own. Be your own thing. Not everything has to be standing up to the original and all that. We can go our own routes, and maybe the goal is not to make something that's better than the original, but something that's different and something that tries a new angle on the same premise. And that's okay. That's all right. Most times when you're making a sequel, you're not going to do something that's better than the original, but you can try the same premise in a different light, in a different angle, different tone, new characters, a lot of different things you can do. So for that reason alone, because it's the 6th entry in a slasher franchise, I wasn't very harsh on it. You know, if this was an original movie, I would have been way harsher on it. But because it was entry number 6 in the Scream franchise, where everything has to be connected, I think they did a pretty damn good job. You know, I definitely would have approached it differently with some of the similar ideas, but I liked it. I had a fun time with it. It was awesome. It was a blast. I love the new characters. Robbie is here. What's up, Robbie? How's it going? Love to you, man. All the love. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out in the chat. I appreciate you. What else do we got? What else do we got here? Tom Holland and Zendaya should be casted for Scream 7, where the characters are in college with Tara, Chad, Mindy, and go to spring break along with Sam and Danny. That would be cool. Once again, if we make a Scream 7, though, we got to kill some characters. I excused it in Scream 6 because I feel like we were really starting to get to know these people a little more than 5. But in Scream 7, start biting off some heads. Let's make it brutal. Jake's new project, The Rat King, the tagline is, you shall rot with the rats. This feels like something a Deadite would say. Like Alyssa Sutherland's Deadite from Evil Dead Rise. Mommy's with the rats now. And the maggots. Like, what? I love that. Oh, God, that new movie was so good. So much fun. Go see Evil Dead Rise. It's a blast. Fun fact, Stu Macher is alive. I even wrote a song about it. Well, you wrote a song about it, so it must be true, is what I'm hearing here. So you write songs about everything. That's pretty fucking awesome. I like your profile picture, too. I'm assuming that's New York City. I can't tell, though, but I like it. I like it. Good stuff. Welcome to the chat. Ghost Mysteries is saying we're going to have to do more campaign funds to bring Red Right Hand 2 to life. Yeah, I will never make another movie for $5,000. Oh, my God. I'm getting high on coffee as I get ready for my night. Oh, shit. It sounds like you got an exciting night ahead of you, Robbie. Holy shit. You snorting some lines of coffee beans? Just going at it? That sounds fucking awesome, dude. I wish I was with you. Holy shit. Jake is so right. Thank you, Alan. I appreciate you. Thank you. I don't know what either of those things are, but all the love, my friend. What did you like more, Evil Dead Rise or Terrifier 2? Man, you're asking me to shoot one of my children's here, shoot one of my kids here, basically. I'd say Terrifier 2. If I had to go, gun to my, can I say that on YouTube? I gotta stop. I gotta stop with the gun metaphors. Evil Dead Rise or Terrifier 2? I'm gonna say Terrifier 2, personally. I really liked Evil Dead Rise. I thought it was fucking awesome. Killer entry in this franchise that I just fucking love. And as Alejandro is saying, I think it's I agree. I think it's a fucking masterpiece. It was scary as hell. Captured the vibe of the franchise really well. But Terrifier 2 is one of those special movies we're not going to get every so often. You know, it was just like, wow, this was special. This was something I've never seen before. And I loved it. Evil Dead Rise, also killer though. But Terrifier 2, you're talking my favorite horror movie from one of my favorite years of horror films ever versus Evil Dead Rise. You know, and like both very good. Both up there. Both very, very much so up there. But Terrifier 2, man, that's a once in a lifetime kind of film. Mesbro Studios is saying, I saw Rise on Tuesday and overall really liked it. I was surprised at how packed it was that day, but then again, movies are cheaper on Tuesdays and it's Evil Dead. Very nice. Very nice. I'm glad you liked it. Glad you liked it, Mesbro Studios. I will say I'm a little biased with the film for sure because, I mean, Bruce Campbell, and I'm sorry, I'm never going to stop talking about this, but Bruce Campbell came in beforehand and was like, hey, here's our new fucking movie, you know, and ribbed us the whole time, just making fun of us. It was awesome. So I don't know. I'm a little biased, let's be honest, but I loved it. I had a really good time with it. Mr. Horror, you're what a sweetheart here, saying, hey, Jake, I love horror and everything about your channel. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you like it. I'm sorry there has not been as many videos as I would like this week, but old Jake's learning a new editing software right now. So as we get into the new month, more videos, but right now things are kind of weird. I love going live. I love talking with all of y'all anyway, so I don't mind, personally. Otherwise, you probably would have seen a video early this morning where I'm just talking about all the stuff I already talked about. But this way, in live time, I get to talk to you all about these new updates, and that's exciting. I love it. A lot of fun. Amy is here with an awesome pug, a good boy and or girl in that profile picture. I love it. Saying, have you heard of the haunting of Venice? I always like to say Venus, but I'm pretty sure it's Venice. Starring Kenneth Branagh. I know that name. I have not seen that movie though. I hear. You know what? I'm putting it on the recommendations. A haunting of Venice. A haunting. My cousin, when I was young, told me that word was pronounced Venus, and I still don't know if that's true or not. I'm 24 years old and I don't know how to pronounce things. Fort Misery Gaming is saying, Jake, I hear people talk about Leslie Mocker all the time and say she can come into Scream 7 as a main character. Maybe I'm forgetting, but which movie was she in? Leslie Mocker was mentioned in Scream 5. I don't think she'll be a main character. I really think she was kind of just there to be like, hey, you know, we got a character who's related to Stu, and that's it. That's really the only reason I think that she was involved in 5, just a name drop. I don't think we need her to be a character. People are really obsessed with some of these side characters that only get mentioned one time, and I don't really get that personally. I'm like, whatever, you know, she's a side character that was mentioned literally just to give us Kyle Gallner's character who barely had any relevance in Scream 5. I don't know. I'm like, if she shows up, I guess, but I'm cool. Once again, I'm just cool with everything not connecting. We've done that in the past. Let's do something else. You know, I don't want the same story structure of Screams 1 through 3. Let's do something else. Let's try to make this into a different story, which we're already telling. You know, Sam Carpenter's not the same as Sidney Prescott. She has a very different arc she's going on opposed. So oh, man. Between all Insidious movies, which one did you like the most? Definitely the first one, End Squad. Definitely the first one is my favorite. But I really like 3. I think 3 is underrated as well. 3 is my favorite sequel. Dermot Mulroney's in that one, where he also has a daughter named Quinn, which I think is interesting. But I love it. Both Insidious 1 and 3, I think, are killer movies. But I like all of them. I think all of them are a lot of fun. But those are my 2 favorites. 1 because of the demon, for sure. The demon and the characters are the best in 1, I think. But 3 is a close second, for sure. Andrew Trotman is here. What's going on, Andrew? Saying, sorry I'm late. Jake, how long have you been live for? I've been live for 50 whole minutes. 50 whole minutes. Isn't that crazy? Welcome, Andrew. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. Do you want Gale back for Scream 7? Simon, I'm going to say, like, maybe. You know, it's a maybe for me right now. It depends on what they do with her character, because I feel like they didn't know what to do with Gale in Scream 6. And there was a lot to be desired with her character. But it got us from point A to point B, but that's how we're using legacy characters at this point. I look back at Screams 5 and 6, and I like them. I do. I really enjoy them. But, they're not perfect. And I look back at them, and after talking about them nearly, like, every day on here, I just think to myself, like, Gale would have been perfect if she was, like, maybe not in this or had more of a presence. Like, it would have been... just to have her kind of in this middle ground in 6, I don't love so much. I mean, like I said, it gets us from point A to point B, but that's the extent of her character. We could have done that another way. We did that with Gale Weathers because she's Gale Weathers. And that's awesome. But it almost feels like there's not more story to tell with Gale. And I kind of felt them pandering a little bit with her arc in 6. And I was almost kind of hoping we'd get a happy ending with her, but we got kind of a different direction with Gale's character. And because we went that different route, I'm like, okay, we're going to kill this character. But then they didn't kill her. And now I'm like, I don't know. I just don't know what the point of Gale was in that last movie. So my thoughts are, if they bring her back for 7, you got to keep, here's the thing. If you bring her back for 7 at this point, and you want to keep the storyline going, moving from 1 to 6, you have to have her continue on this arc. You can't just have her be the good guy randomly now. You can't just go back to how it was at the end of 5, even though, in my opinion, that might have been a better story. You gotta keep it the same, or you're gonna look back at 6 and be like, what the fuck? Like, what was going on here? You gotta have Gale go down this dark path and continue that. Otherwise, I just don't know what the point of her character arc in 6 was. So for Scream 7, I say, do have something else happen for Gale Weathers. Something. So, go down a dark path, and maybe that leads to her death. As unfortunate as that sounds, I don't know what else to do with their character. We're just including these characters just to have them there, and it's starting to eat up screen time when we could be doing good story stuff, doing more efficient things. Have you talked about the Boogeyman movie? I have not talked about this. I think the reason I've been not hyped about this movie is because it's from director Rob Savage, who, and this is so unfair. I hate that I always feel this way, but whenever a director gives me a movie that I'm not super fond of, I kind of lose interest in them. And I think that's not fair. Rob Savage really impressed me with his first feature, Host, which is a 60-minute little found footage movie that dropped on Shudder, and I watched it while I was on vacation driving through the West Coast, which was really cool. And I was watching this movie, and I'm like, this is fucking scary, man. Like, this is awesome. And it's a little 60-minute romp. It's like a tiny little story, and it's really efficient. It's really well done. But then he puts out Dashcam last year, and I got I did a lot to see this movie early. I got a screener for it. I got to see it a whole month early. I was hyped, and I was not impressed. Dashcam is one of the, I don't want to say it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen, but I don't know. Every choice that was made in that movie was kind of a wrong one, in my opinion. I don't know what was going on. I think the main character is so unbelievably annoying, and for some reason, when you set up a character to be really annoying, for your audience's sake, kill that character. Just do it. Sometimes there's a right choice in something, and yeah. I'm sparing you time with that movie. Trust me. It's, my God, was not huge on that one. But he's coming back. He's directing this Boogeyman movie. It's from Stephen King, and it's written by the Quiet Place dudes. So I'm excited. Once again, I'm not hot on them either. I just saw 65 maybe like a month ago, and I was also not a big fan of that one. But I'm still excited to see what they bring to the table with this movie. Hopefully it's going to be fun. Hopefully it's going to be scary. And, it's Stephen King, too. So, it can't be all bad. I go into everything with an open mind, even if I have negative connotations with it. I'm still going into it. I'm still expecting a good movie. Let's see what happens. Fort Misery Gaming is saying, so I got bamboozled by We Watched a Movie when he talked about the movie called The Curve. It had Matthew Lillard and Kerry Russell, and it has a and was a bunch of garbo. Oh, I've never seen that one, but I remember looking up Matthew Lillard's filmography recently. I want to check out some of his other films. I got to meet him at Horror Hound, so I was like, I got to watch more of this guy's movies. I feel like I haven't seen all of them. What did he recommend? He recommended me this like sci-fi movie, and I can't even remember the name of it, but I wrote it down. It's in my phone somewhere, and he's like, oh, no one ever talks about that movie. Like, you should watch it. And I'm like, I will, Matthew. Fuck yeah, I will. Maybe that's it. And I'm just an idiot. The Supreme Coven is saying, can I see Evil Dead Rise without seeing Evil Dead? Yeah, you can watch. Honestly, I think what's great about any of the Evil Dead movies is you can watch any of them, like, standalone. Like, all of them. All 5 of them, even the series. I mean, it definitely enhances your viewing to see all of them and then move on to the next one. But you can go into you can jump into any of those movies and know what's going on. And I think that's something really special about that franchise. I love the Scream movies, where they all kind of connect. They're all one long story, but you kind of have to see the one previous to it to get the next one. Like, going into Scream 6, if you've never seen Screams 1 through 5, think about how weird that movie might be. Like, they reference, like, everything from some of the past movies. But what's so great about Evil Dead is the opposite, I would say, is that you don't have to see the past one to know what's going on in the next one. It's always been that way. And a lot of people like to claim that, oh man, the story's always been about Ash, but what's the story? You know what I mean? What story are we talking about here? Like, man, it's the story running through the original trilogy is fine. It's very haphazard. It's maybe the weakest part of the original Evil Dead movies, but I love that we have still kept the spirit alive in Evil Dead. If it's Ash Williams in the TV show, if it's new characters in these new movies, I love them. I love it all. I love Ash. I love these new movies. A lot of good stuff, man. Not everything is about one linear story that's going through 100 movies. Sometimes you can just have fun and little contained sequels throughout a franchise, dealing with similar horrible entities, and that's okay. Hello, Ben Taylor. Hello. Welcome. I like the Negan. Nice. Love the profile picture. Welcome. Malik is saying Gail dying protecting Sydney would be a good send-off, doing what she knew Dewey would do. Okay, now, see, this I'm okay with, because imagine if Gail is once again, writing about the murders in Scream 6 and Scream 7, and then she's kind of going down that dark path again, writing about murders, and it's like, really? Sydney's like, really, Gail? What the fuck? Gives her kind of a reality check, and it's like, wow, that's coming from Sidney Prescott. I thought me and Sydney were good, but I guess not. And then at the end of the film, yeah, Gail dies protecting Sydney. And, you'd have to do it in a way that was a little less predictable than what I was just pitching. But I think that's the best thing to do with her character at this point. Her character arc was doing so good, and then Scream 6, I'm like, I don't know. Like, what are you guys doing with that? What are y'all doing there? I really liked what they set up at the end of 5, that Gail's a good guy now. And I'm like, cool, okay. But then, nah, we're throwing that all out the window. Never mind. And, that's fine, you can do that, but it's got to go somewhere. They should have killed Gail in Scream 6, and that would have made sense. It's like, oh, she was always going to resort back to this. It's kind of a reality check for the audience. But maybe we could recycle that idea and put that in 7, and kind of have Sydney be the one to kind of essentially hit her in the face again. But with words this time, Sydney, not with a punch to the face. Oh, Mesbro Studios, this is music to my ears. VHS 99, another underrated movie. What the fuck? What do you do? This cord down here is being all loosey-goosey. I don't like it. VHS 99 is getting a physical release on May 23rd, and will get a steelbook release. Okay, here's my question, Mesbro Studios. Has any of the other ones gotten steelbooks? Because I have not seen those, if that's the case. I love those movies so much. They are so much fun. I don't know. I got to have that one. That one's going to be fun. That one was awesome. I can't wait for VHS 85 this year, too. Got another one in the works in October. Adam Evans, what is going on? Hey, Jakey. I'm pretty new to your channel, and this is the first stream I've been able to catch. So, hey, Evan. Hey, Adam Evans. How are you? Adam-y? What's going on? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the channel. I hope you're enjoying it. Like I said, don't have too much content up on the page this week, but next week, much more videos, I promise. Jake's having kind of a crazy week, finishing up a short film, finishing up what the fuck else am I doing this weekend? just too much. Setting up a gaming channel right now. So you're going to see me going insano style on that. That was a Joel Haver reference for fans of him out there. But yeah, I'm working on a gaming channel. It's going to be fun. Hopefully you guys check that out. Like I said, there's just not as much. I tried to do the whole movie smoothie thing where I was talking about more movies that I like, but I'm realizing there's not as many movies that I'm super hyped for. But I do realize that there's a lot of video games that I'm really hyped for. So Movie Smoothie has become the gaming channel. I'll be streaming there next month. So check it out. Check it out, man. It's going to be fun. Yeah. Yes, I am insanely busy, Ghost Mysteries. All I do is work. I have one short film in the can. We're finishing up one on Sunday, and then we're going into pre-production for a full feature. So, Jesus Christ, I need to sleep. But hey, man, I'm 24 years old. You got to keep it going. You got to make it happen. So. I haven't seen steelbooks for the other VHS. That's what I thought. So I had gotten wind that there was going to be a steelbook for VHS 99. I'm like, well, where's the steelbook for all the movies? Mesbro Studios. That's what I was saying. Come on. Malik is saying, with the new Strangers being a trilogy, do you think Madeline Pesh will or could be a new best final girl contender? The Strangers are brutal, and surviving them will be a task. That is true. So far, the Strangers are 1 for 1. Which I think is pretty interesting with their kill success ratio. I'm also curious to see what else will happen. What else will happen with the Strangers moving forward? Are they still alive after the events of the last one? Like, are they all three of them are coming back? What's going on there? I'm excited to see what they do with the story. If this is just a new take on the same premise or a continuation to Prey at Night, or what's going on. I'm still excited for it either way, whatever they do with it. But what I think is, will she be a best final girl contender, just like how we talked about on stream last night? It all depends on the execution, man. It's not one of those things I can say as of right now. I remember going into Scream 5 and I'm like, I'm hyped for this new cast. I know a lot of these people, but I don't know what it's going to be. I hope it's going to be good. Yeah. I remember Melissa Barrera, kind of everyone was talking about how she's kind of the new final girl. People were like, I don't know, man. I really like Sydney. I don't know if she's going to be better than Sydney, but I think she stands on her own. And in fact, you guys might want to see the results from last night because they were pretty interesting. You might be surprised by who came out on top for best final girl from the 16 we had. It was pretty exciting. Pretty exciting stuff. Alejandro saying, I love the Black Phone, and I'm excited for Scott Derrickson's segment in VHS 85. I am too. I really like the Black Phone. And Black Phone 2's coming out. Hell yeah. Hyped for Black Phone 2, man. I like the Black Phone. I think I still like Sinister more, personally, but I did like the Black Phone. I had a good time with it. I want to see if they do Black Phone 2. I want it to be a little more brutal and maybe don't spoil half of the big scares in the trailer. I would have liked Black Phone even more if half the movie wasn't spoiled for me in the trailer. Like, that was one where they didn't touch on too much like really terrifying stuff, and then when you get to it, it's really good. It's done really well, but they spoiled it all in the trailer. Like, none of it hit for me because I was just like, I've seen all of this already. It's like, man. I probably would have liked it. I probably would have given it like a 9 out of 10 if I hadn't seen any of that in the trailers, but it's still just a 7 out of 10 for me. It just did not hit as hard as I wanted it to. Ben Taylor saying, you've grown a lot since 1K. I was around for the Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends news. Nice. Good stuff. You probably don't remember me, but I found your channel again. Plan to stick around. Well, welcome, Ben. Welcome. I'm very thankful for the growth. I'm very thankful for all the wonderful people hanging out with me. I can go live. I went live out of nowhere today, and 45 people are sticking around hanging out. So thank you. Thank you all for being here. And thank you for being here too, Ben. It does really mean a lot. I really appreciate it. I don't know what I did in the past life to deserve all of this, but man, it's awesome. I'm very thankful. So thanks for being here, Ben. Thanks for discussing horror with me. It's a lot of fun. Lewis is hanging out. What's going on, Lewis? What's up? Got a ghost face in the profile picture. I love it. Saying, I'm thinking about making a Scream fan film, but kind of making it my own movie. Do you have any advice to me on how to make a decent movie without putting any money towards it? What I'll say, like, you're probably, you probably live in an apartment or a house. So I would say just use that as your setting. Once again, if you don't no money going towards it. Just do that. Get a script. You gotta put a little bit of your own money towards it. That's what I'll say. Something I was unaware of going into Red Right Hand is how much money really goes into a film, and how you will make a mistake. You will make some kind of mistake that you could not have foreseen or could not have possibly prepared for, and you're gonna need money to fix those mistakes, or people are gonna be mad, or shit's not gonna get done on time. So I would get a little bit of money together going into any project, is what I'll say, Lewis. Get some money together. Get your friends together. Film a Scream movie. Write a screenplay. Don't do it in that order, but get a little bit of money together. Get a good robe. Make something that's worthwhile. You know, if you're going to make a short film with no money, make it a really solid 5 minutes, essentially. You know, you can make a really solid 5 minutes for free, essentially. Maybe put a little bit of money into it, depending on what you're doing. You probably need a robe and a good mask and all that if you're doing a Scream fan film. But get a couple $100 together, get some stuff, get an actor, 2 actors, and there you go. You get a Scream chase scene. That's probably the best you can do with like no money, and you can probably make it something really special, make it your own. Do it in your own way. That's my advice. Just keep it simple. Don't go over the top with it if you're gonna do something smaller like that. Ryan Baxter is saying, what is the premise of VHS? So basically it's a found footage version of Creepshow, where it's like 4, maybe 5 segments of like little short horror stories, essentially, and you have all these big directors kind of directing them. In the original movie, it was like, I'm trying to think, like Radio Silence, Ty West did shorts in that first one. Like in some of the sequels, we've had like the last movie, the last 2 movies, we've had some really big names, like Chloe Okuno. We've had Flying Lotus. We've had, those are my 2 favorites, so of course those come first. I'm trying to think who else was Simon Barrett, who's phenomenal. He's been a part of this franchise for a very long time. Who else is a director on these last 2 movies that I can't remember? I'm just gonna look up VHS 94, because VHS 94 is the best one. If you need to get sold on this movie, watch that one. Without a doubt, my favorite one. Timo Giganto, who's directing the new American take on Train to Busan. I don't know. I really like these movies. They're just really fun. They're fun popcorn movies. Watch them with some friends. Really good time. We had the Winters, who did Deadstream. Killer movie if you've never seen it. Joseph and Vanessa Winter directs a segment in VHS 99 that is so good and so underrated. Johannes Roberts, who did Welcome to Raccoon City and also Strangers Pray at Night. We were just talking about that one. Maggie Levin, who's married to Scott Derrickson, and as curious as that is. I don't know any movies she's actually done, though, which is kind of a shame, because I really like her segment in VHS 99. But as she's described on IMDb, she's a filmmaker with rock and roll roots, and that shows in her. She did My Valentine for Into the Dark. Okay, I saw that. That was cool. That was cool. But VHS is a lot of fun, man. I recommend it. It's a good time. What was the most expensive part of Red Right Hand? Definitely the effects. Like the head stomp was. Put some good money into making that one look good. put some money into making that look right. Let's just say that. But well, not really. The effects and the costumes were probably the most expensive thing. Like costumes are expensive. If you want things to look right, look good, gotta get people who know what they're doing, making the right stuff. Once again, if you're trying to make something, if you're trying to make a fan film, make this, that, or whatever, get a lot of money together. Like it's I don't know. I mean, you can make something on your own with no money and all that, just to kind of play around with the camera, kind of figure out what you're doing and all that. Go ahead, do it. But like if you want to make something that's really going to be like crazy impressive, you want to blow some people away. Yes, get some money together and then make something that you're really proud of, that you're like, okay, this is going to be something really solid. Spend a lot of time in the writing process too, in the early phase, especially when you don't have a studio breathing down your neck. You know what I mean? Spend time getting things right, because some people don't have that luxury, and you do right now. That's a big thing that I would like that I want to pass on to everybody. When you have people breathing down your necks about things that got to get done, it's a lot harder to be creative. But when you don't have that, it's kind of nice. So take your time, have fun with it, write it the best you possibly can. Save Robbie is saying, don't tease me, but I'm excited for the new Little Mermaid. Hell yeah, man. The Little Mermaid movie that comes out on your birthday. Okay. I said don't judge me. I'm of the opinion that I'm just not going to see any Disney live action remakes of anything. I'm sure it's going to be fun, I'm sure it's going to be great. Honestly, I bet it's going to be great. I bet the new Little Mermaid's going to be kick-ass, but I'm just not to me, the only reason they're making these new live action remakes is to keep the IPs and to keep making money off of those IPs. So that's why I'm like, I don't know. I just don't feel like supporting that. Like I saw the Aladdin live action remake and I'm like, this is just in every way objectively worse than the original. And I don't know. It's fine. It's whatever. I don't know. I hope it's good. I hope it's really good. I'm rooting for every movie that comes out, but sometimes you look at something and you're like, did they just make this for money? I can't tell. I can't tell. But hopefully it's good. And you know what, Robbie, you got a great point. You're gonna be in the theaters listening to some fucking jams. That I can't argue with. I can't argue with that at all. That's gonna be a fun time. I can't argue with you. Yeah, and I'm just tired of remaking movies that don't need remakes. That's my thing. I'm just like, man, do we gotta do that? I don't know. Maybe we don't need maybe this doesn't need to be remade. Not everything needs to be remade. Vince is saying, what was your favorite scene in Scream 6? Easily the opening scene. Holy fuck, that was awesome. Vince, I was blown away, man. I could not believe that shit. They revealed a Ghostface killer before the third act. I was like, thank you. And good night. I was like, finally they're doing something different here, and they did it. They fucking did it. They did something crazy. Built up our new Ghostfaces to be even more badass. I love it. So I don't know. I really love that opening scene. That was one of my favorite parts. I almost wish the whole movie was just seeing those two greasy Ghostface guys trying to kill Sam and Tara. I almost would have loved just seeing a movie of that. Although Snow White is my arch enemy, don't ask. I won't. No questions, Robbie. No questions there. I'm terrified. I'm already terrified, and I don't want to get deeper into this. I'm already too much involved. I know too much already. My God. Don't bite don't bite any apples, my friend. That's what I'll say. Mesbro Studios is saying, I'm excited as fuck for Alien Romulus. Me too, man. I'm hyped. Alien Romulus is gonna be fun. It is gonna be good. I don't think a remake to Escape from New York is needed. Ooh, that's a hot take, because here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say about that, my chunky Jordy. I think Escape... What the fuck? Shit keeps biting my ankles. I don't like it. The rats they're getting hungry. I gotta feed them soon. Here's my thing about this. Escape from LA is fine. It's fine. It's whatever. That's a pretty big universe, though. There's a lot you can do with that story. There's a lot of different paths you can go down. Like, with Halloween, in comparison, another John Carpenter property, I'm like, this is about a guy that kills some people, and it's a very personal story. That's one where I'm kind of shocked we have 13 movies. Escape from New York, though, pretty high concept sci-fi, where I'm like, this is kind of cool. This is kind of cool. I could see more stories being told in this universe, but once again, it's got to be good. It's got to make sense. It can't just be like, here's the same movie again, but in 2023. I don't do that. Don't do that. I really love Escape from New York, though. I love it so much. That's why I'm like, come on, if we do another one, why not? Why not? And hopefully it's good. Legion is saying, watched Scream 6 last night, and I noticed near the end when the sister killer was going after Sam, she was running at her with a gun. That same thing with Dermot Mulroney. He runs at her with a gun and just starts screaming, and it's like, why are you not shooting her in the face, bro? What's going on? A lot of little goofy moments in Scream 6, but like I said, it's a movie. Have fun with it. Come on. They impressed me with some of the other shit that they did, and that was what mattered. I can excuse little things like that where it's just like, okay, this is clearly goofy. I can excuse little things like that. But when you have entire plot points that don't make sense, though, that's when I'm like, okay, come on. You know, if you're gonna have a goofy moment here and there, whatever, shit happens. But come on, man. Save Robbie saying, what are these Casey Becker Scream 7 rumors? That's a no from me unless she had a twin. So Drew Barrymore has been saying that she would love to come back to the franchise, which is why people are talking about it. Same thing with Parker Posey with Jennifer Jolie, but both of these characters are very dead. I love both of them. I think they're both great characters, but we don't need them to come back. If everyone comes back, Ghostface is going to be one of the worst slasher villains of all time. I mean, our last couple of Ghostfaces were pretty low on the killing scale. You know, they didn't do a very good job. They tried, you know, three of them all together couldn't get as many kills as we thought. But man, if more people start coming back from the dead, I'm gonna riot. I'm gonna start rioting. I love these characters, man, but like, come on, man. Is Scream 7 happening soon? No announcement yet, but rumor has it it's in development. So hopefully we get the announcement, and hopefully Christopher Landon is our director this time around. That would be pretty cool. I'd be down for old Chris to come back. Be a lot of fun. Do you know what the story will be for The Nun 2? So I know it's picking up after the events of the original Nun, and I know that Storm Reed is going to be in it. That's what I can tell you off the top of my head. I'm assuming, yeah, it's just going to be another church. The nun comes in, starts jump scaring people to death. That's what I'm assuming. That's what I'm assuming it's going to be. But hey, man, you know, maybe it's good. Maybe it's better. Maybe it's even better than the original Nun. That would be cool. That would be really fun. I want it to be good. I'm rooting for all these movies, but once again, I don't have so much faith in it. But I'm still going to see it. I'm still going to review it. Saw a cheese grater today at my work and thought, Evil Dead Rise. What do you know? I love it, Legion. Good stuff. Am I kind of upset that Kirby survived since that started to take away the threat of Ghostface? You know, they could have used Kirby as a way to make Ghostface look more menacing. Like if they had killed Kirby, I would have been a little more. I would have given our Ghostfaces this time a little more props, but they didn't. They didn't kill Gil Weathers. They didn't kill Kirby. I just, you know, sometimes you got to bring characters back and kill them, and it's sad, it sucks, but sometimes that's what happens. You know, we didn't see Kirby in the last movie. She comes back, maybe she dies. You know, listen, I don't know. Me personally, we left too many characters alive at the end, and I get why I get why we kept the core 4 alive. I get that. Some of the other characters, I'm just like, that's where I have a problem with. The core 4 living, I'm fine with. That's okay. But then, you know, Gail lived. Josh Segarra lived. So many people lived through this movie, and it's like, okay, come on now. What's going on here? Core 4, I get it. I get why they lived. I like them now. You know, after Scream 5, I wasn't super sold on them. In Scream 6, I was. I get why they brought Chad back. I get that. But Josh Segarra should have died on the train. Like, that just should have happened. I don't know why it didn't happen. Kirby, with how little of a presence Gale and Kirby had in the movie, I think honestly both of them should have died. I love both of those characters a lot, but once again, you gotta give us a good story at the end of the day, or why do we keep coming back? You know, it's like, well, we can just watch those old movies, you know. So I wish we had more kills in the movie, but I still stand by it. I still stand by that. I really liked 6. It's still my favorite sequel because of everything they did with the core 4. I think those characters are really well written. I had a blast with them. I thought a lot of when we actually did kill people in Scream 6, it was fucking awesome. It was great. The first half of the movie's badass as fuck. I love it. Adam Evans is saying, I need Kevin Williamson to write the script for 7. I promise you that won't happen, but I wish. If 7 is the final Scream movie, it seems only right to let Kevin conclude the story for the characters he created. It doesn't seem like that's going to be the case, but I'd be down for that. I've heard Kevin kind of talk about it. He doesn't really seem interested. I think he kind of told his story. You know, I get it. I think that he did what he needed to do with Scream, and now, you know, he's riding the producer wave, and that's okay. I would be down for, if this gets announced, I'm going to be jumping for joy at him. I'm going to be losing my mind. That'd be awesome. But I like what Guy Busick and James Vanderbilt have done. Some of it is really good, and some of it's kind of weird. But that's how I feel about all the Scream movies. Some of it's kind of weird, and you're like, why did they make this choice? It's nothing new. I think a lot of people are like, man, these writers suck. But then, they're making the same mistakes Kevin Williamson did back in Scream 2 and Scream 3 or not Scream 3, Scream 4, Scream 2 and Scream 4, and you're looking back at those movies and you're like, these aren't perfect either. I love all these movies, but they got little issues here and there. But that's okay. We still love them. I still think they're a lot of fun. Ballad of the Broken is saying, I do agree with Guy that killing Gale would have set a precedent that this team will kill off a legacy member with each new film. They already proved that they are willing to go there with Dewey and Judy. 7 will kill. Yeah, no, I mean, you make a really good point. Absolutely. I just think that in that movie, I would actually argue that it made more sense to kill Gale in Scream 6 during that scene than it did to kill Dewey in Scream 5. And here's the thing. You're absolutely right. Killing Dewey was important because it's like, okay, nobody's safe anymore. Now it's terrifying no matter what they do moving forward. Because, man, after Scream 4, my issue with Scream 4 was like, everybody's way too fucking safe. Like Dewey, Gale, and Sidney, they're never going to die. These characters are unkillable. But then Scream 5 proved us wrong, and I'm like, okay, this is nice. I like this. This is a good change of pace. But with the way they set up Gale's character, it just made more sense to kill her there. And I thought they did. I was like, oh shit, man, they killed Gale Weathers. That's fucking crazy. But I saw, kind of saw this coming. I get it. And then they bring her back to life. And I don't know if I liked that or not. I don't know if I was a fan of that. After seeing it a couple times, I'm like, they should have just killed her here. It just made sense. Just made sense to get a death in this scene. And sometimes there's a really obvious choice with the scene, and sometimes you're setting up something to happen, and you just got to go through with it. You know what I mean? I that's how I feel about that scene every time I see it now. If Scream 7 is greenlit, I hope Sam's mother is one of the main targets, with Sidney and Sam, and the killer's motive is to kill them and end the Ghostface attacks, or have the mother as the killer. I just think we got to move away from relative killers. I'm fine for, if you want to bring her into the picture for some reason, the mom character, sure. But if she ends up being the killer, I'm just like, you guys are just repeating what you did in Scream 3. And now we have a trilogy that just mirrors the original. When we're setting up something bigger, we're setting up something way cooler, I think, with Sam Carpenter as a character. And if we don't go that route in Scream 7 and we just kind of make Scream 3 again, I don't know what the point of this trilogy was. And it has potential to go somewhere really cool, I think. Sam Carpenter's a really cool character. She's very different from Sidney. She's not the same. I think we can do more. I think we do more with this character. Personally, I don't think she needs to have the same arc as Sidney, and I think she can have a darker arc, and one that maybe goes to places that could have a tragic ending. And I think that would be very different and very fun and would stand out big time. And God, I just don't want them to do the same thing. I don't want Scream 7 ending with, oh, Josh Segarra's still alive and we're going to watch a movie together and I'm going to look out the door as it opens and I'm going to be fine with that door opening and I'm going to go sit down and watch the movie. If that happens at the end of Scream 7, so help me God, I'm going to lose my mind. Sonu Puppy is saying, did you like Smile? I took my girlfriend and told her it's a comedy. 5 minutes into the movie, the jump scare made us clash heads. Did you guys hit each other's heads really hard? Because I've done that. I've jump scared myself into another person. That has happened to me. I heard there's a sequel coming. So yes, and yes. I really liked this movie. I had a blast with it. It was almost a top 10 for the year. And honestly, after rewatch, it probably would have made my top 10. Just watching it again, I was like, wow, that was really fucking good. When I first watched it, my big takeaway was I really liked it, but it felt like a premise I had seen 100 times. And watching it again, I realized it's a little more than that. I watched it as an Insidious movie, essentially. I watched it as this feels like an Insidious. This feels like an Insidious or a Conjuring or one of those kind of movies. Paranormal Activity. It feels like one of those kind of movies, but it's a lot more than that. It's got its own flavor to it. It's almost like if Sam Raimi approached The Conjuring or The Ring or something like that and did it his own way. And I think that's kind of cool. So I don't know. I liked it. I really had a blast with it. I wouldn't call it the best horror movie of 2022, but I thought it was really good. I think a lot of people slept on this one, and I'm hyped for the sequel. Did a lot of people sleep on it, though? I think it made like $200 million. So maybe never mind on that comment, but I don't see a lot of people talking about it anymore, which I think is a shame. Ghostface95 is saying, after watching Spree, I want Joe Keery to play Ghostface. Do you agree? Oh, that would be great. If he got cast in Scream 7, I'd be down, but like I said, I'd be very suspicious of my man. I'd be like, dude, the guy's played a killer before. He could be our killer this time around. I'm honestly shocked that Josh Segarra wasn't the killer in the last movie. I really don't know what the point of his character was. Like, I can't get over that. I need to watch it again. I feel like I've gotten too far away from Scream 6 at this point. I gotta watch it again. Gotta get some new takes on it. It's been a minute. It's been a couple of weeks. I need to watch that movie again. Jesus. I want the victims group to be either killers themselves or past killers, while we have the one Ghostface killer to go after the group. Once again, I'm just like, we need a disconnect, you know? Maybe 7 is the movie to do a disconnect, but like, I'm just like, I'm in the mindset of like, let's just call it do a hard reset right now, man. Just do some new things. Cause I'm just like, we're getting to a point where it's going to be so convoluted trying to make everything connect. It's just not going to make sense. Like it's look at what's happening to Marvel right now. Like the MCU is slowly falling apart, and there's so many plot holes and little things that you can talk about, how like this just doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. Why didn't they use this here? Scream is starting to turn into that a little bit. I love Scream 6, like I said, but I think any more movies trying to connect everything together is ultimately just kind of shooting themselves in the foot. And I like it. I like that we've told this big long story throughout all 6 of these movies, but I think we need to start having the story stand on its own and not be connected to the past and not be connected to Roman Bridger, because this is like the next Scream 3, essentially. We got to do our own thing. We got to stand on our own, or we're going to become phase 4 of the MCU. And I just don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen to Scream, because I love this franchise, and I think they're, for the most part, all fucking bangers. I love all these movies, and I don't want them to not be bangers anymore, because we're following a format that's just a little too generic. I hope that's not the case. I hope that doesn't happen to the Scream franchise. But I think this franchise has potential to be fresh forever, as long as they stick to what made that original movie great, which 6 came very close to capturing that, I think, but none of the sequels have quite gotten that yet, which was like just a really well done mystery that was a standalone kind of thing. And I think that's what we need to do moving forward. We need to have these little self-contained stories that don't connect everything, because then there's no convolution. There's no bullshit where it's like, well, this doesn't make sense if you look at it this way from this movie's perspective or whatever. I don't know. I'm just my thoughts. Just my thoughts on it. I want Scream to be the best it can be. I really do. Ballad of the Broken is saying, movies that deserve more love. 1408. I just bought that movie. I gotta watch that again. 13 Ghosts, great choice. As Above, So Below, one of my favorite found footage movies. Darkness 2002, I have not seen. The Strangers 2, one of the most underrated sequels maybe ever. And Oculus, a great movie for Mr. Mike Flanagan. I have not seen Darkness 2002 though. But killer movies across the board pretty much that I've seen. As Above, So Below does not get enough love, man. That is such a good fucking movie. Ugh. Love it. That one's so fun. It's basically Indiana Jones if Indiana Jones was a found footage horror film, and I love it. So good. So you want James Gunn to take charge of Scream and do a full reboot like he's doing to DC? I'm not going to answer that question, because I feel like I'm going to get canceled if I even touch that. Like, oh my God. Like, people are getting ripped to shreds talking about James Gunn anywhere. I'm terrified. I'm terrified to give an opinion. All I'm gonna say is I like James Gunn. I really like his movies. I don't know. I can't believe the reaction that he's gotten for taking over DC. It's nuts. Alejandro is saying, I have never seen Midnight Meat Train. Killer movie with a killer twist. Check it out. It's fun. Don't look up anything about that movie. Just watch it. Just watch it. It's a good one. Vivid Gamer saying, I definitely think 5 and 6 should be left as a duology. Whatever comes next should be new. Ghostface is so popular in universe that there doesn't need to be a connection to justify the mask. I'm fine with that. Like, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with, I would also be fine with some of the characters from the past coming back for a new movie for 7. Because I'd love to see Sydney again. I'd love to see Sam and the gang back. We did a lot of character work with the core 4. I don't want to just lose him at this point. So, but I like him. I'd love for him to come back. Ghostface 95, I'm right there with you. That movie made no fucking sense. I don't know. I don't know what was going on. I couldn't tell you. The Outwaters, I don't know. I don't know what the point of that movie was. I'm convinced that the people who made that movie went out into the middle of the desert and just got covered in blood and dragged meat snakes on a string where you can see the string and just slapped it all together in the editing room. I'm convinced. I don't know why. I don't know. I drove 2 hours to see that movie and I was very salty when it was just a bunch of BS. I was not happy with that one. Adam's got to go. It's all good, man. Don't worry about it. But I had a great time here. Definitely going to try to catch your next stream. Thank you so much, man. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you. Thank you. If Jake says it's great, I'm watching it tonight. Check it out. It's once again, killer twist. I love it. Good stuff. I'm going to answer one more question. Old Jake's getting off. NN Squad is saying, do you think it's a great idea to make Jeepers Creepers 5, and what would you change? My big thing about Reborn is that the characters sucked, the effects sucked, and not enough effort was gone into the writing process with that movie. I think the Creeper is such an interesting horror villain, and we haven't done anything really interesting with him in 2 movies, in my opinion. Everything we've tried to do with him just kind of sucks and falls flat, and I think that sucks. I think it's a really cool concept for a horror villain, but they have not gotten it right recently, which is a shame. What I would do differently is just have the new feeding cycle happen with good characters. Like, make another simple, good Jeepers Creepers movie, but just not... just don't have it suck. I don't write characters that don't suck. Those characters were just so unrelatable, and there was entire sequences of that movie that made no fucking sense or looked awful because the effects were pretty trash. I don't know, man. I think they can do better in another entry if they get some other people on board. But wow, that was something. Can't believe that. It looked like I was watching cutscenes from the original Resident Evil or something at different times. It was crazy. All right, y'all. Old Jake's tired. Like I said, I'm kind of done for the rest of the month because I got some shit I got to get done, and I'm prepping the gaming channel. So go check that out. I believe next Saturday, not this upcoming one, I'm going to be doing the first game stream on there, and I'm going to start doing a little more gaming streams here and there. So check that out over on the second channel. If you're already subscribed to Movie Smoothie, that has turned into GullGotha, which is my gaming channel. So that's going to be kind of the focus for a little bit while there's not as much horror news going on. There's still going to be, videos on here and all that, but gaming you can kind of do whenever, and you don't have to rely on news for content, which is nice. So that's why I'm really trying to break into that. So check out that channel. I'm going to do a lot of streams on there, a lot of fun videos. So check it out. It's going to be a good time. Thanks everyone for hanging out with me tonight. It's been a lot of fun. And I'll see you in May pretty much. So thanks for hanging out. And as always, don't forget to kill it out.